Were happening in Cape Town at the National Assembly at Megawatt Park here in Johannesburg. The CEO of Eskom, Mr. Dan Marokane, was giving an update on 100 days of his time in office and giving an update really on what he has been up to. Without a waste of time, I'm going to bring him in so that he can bring us up to speed about what the first 100 days have been for him. Thank you very much for joining us on SABC News and welcome. Take us through one of the most important things that you did, day one, way up to day 100 when you got to office.
Thank you very much, Diawan. Thank you to the viewers at home. Of course, there were three things actually that I focused on in my first 100 days. The first one was to support the generation recovery plan that was underway. The generation recovery plan is crucial for the improved performance of our generation fleet, coal fleet in particular. The second one was to drive the unbundling processes. When I joined the business, we were facing some serious timelines with regards to meeting deadlines for meeting suspensive conditions in the space, and also the operationalization of the NTCSA, which is a unbundled transmission business. In this period, we also had to re-establish relationships, connect with our stakeholders, both internal and external, deal with the organized business, organized labor, and also engage with the investor community, to whom we'll be going back to fund some of our initiatives going forward. So it's really been about setting the blocks for enabling us to implement our strategy going forward. Yeah.
One thing that our viewers have been most concerned with, particularly in the lead up to elections that have been fierce debates. Will we have load shedding on the 30th of May? And it is now we're going to day 80 tomorrow without load shedding. What have you been doing differently? How are you going to maintain it?
We've repeatedly stressed that the generation recovery plan that is under execution started and was formulated in March 2023. Of course, when you implement the plan at the earlier stages, you don't necessarily see the results coming through. Concerted efforts, being present all the time, and also doing some course corrections will eventually lead to a number of these initiatives yielding results. We have said so that in December last year, we have taken record level of units out for maintenance. When we indicated this, we said we are doing so that when we come to the winter periods, we can have that capacity back to help us with demand. What are we seeing? We are seeing exactly that. The units are coming back. They're a bit more reliable than before, and as a result of that, we have significantly slashed even our expenditure on diesel. The performance is driven by the reduction in the unplanned losses of our business. We think that when we continue down this trajectory, we place ourselves in a better position to really address the issue of load shedding. We are not out of the woods yet, but we are encouraged by what we are seeing.
Yeah. One of the other things that have been quite a concern was the finances of the power utility, and you have also talked about one thing that concerns you as a power utility is the municipal debt, area debt, and that something needs to be done about it. Please take us through that once again.
Our finances are driven essentially by three levers, if I may put so. The first one, of course, is that as a regulated business, we must get cost-reflective tariffs. The second one is that we should actually be productive so that we can sell our products. And for that reason, the performance of the generation plan is important in ensuring that we've got electricity to sell. The third one is us being able to collect from the sales that we have made. And Munich debt plays a role in this space. As you know, there is a Munich debt package that the NT has put into place. Yeah. We understand that this was a well-considered intervention. It needed the municipalities to come to the party. Our observation to date is that the performance in terms of adherence to the condition is not at the level that it needs to be. It is going to force everyone to go back to the drawing board so that we can find a sustainable solution in as far as resolving municipality debt is concerned. Yes, so it is a headwind that we are going to be tackling next in the same level, with the same energy as we have done with tackling the energy availability factor.
And lastly, you've made an impassioned plea to the country for them, or for us, to protect workers of Eskom with the issues of vandalism and damage to infrastructure. Please take us through that once again.
Look, we have had unfortunate incidences, especially in the Western Cape, where staff were unable to access sites to restore connections and supply in areas that have been disrupted. And then this has been on the back of the vandalism, the criminality that is happening in those spaces. Our plea is that we really allow some of these service providers that are of national importance to have access to help us. In these instances, individuals, households, and I don't know how many public areas in the spaces were affected for much longer than should have otherwise been the case. This is an issue that we need to start tackling as a country. It also applies to other services as well. We have to be conscious of the fact that for us to improve the quality of service, we need to be able to have access and our employees very safe. We take safety very serious as Eskom. We have said this, that no job is important enough for us to place our employees at danger. And it is for that reason that we withdraw our staff when this happens until we can work with communities to ensure that there's safe passage into these areas.
Thank you. When can we hear next from you about the plans and how they are progressing? It's been 100 days. When do you plan to update the country once again?
I plan to focus on doing the job and speaking less. And so what we're going to be doing is really refocus our business in terms of internally holding ourselves accountable for progress versus plan, doing course corrections. We will come out periodically to do updates to the nation. And of course, we'll come out whenever there are topical issues that needs attention. But our strategy is to really focus on giving capacity to execution and let the results and the scoreboard count.
Mr. Marokane, thank you very much for your time. I've been speaking to the CEO of Eskom, Mr. Dan Marokane, giving us an update. He says, talking less and doing more. They'll give us update periodically as they happen.